Hello, Alexia. Can you introduce yourself for those who do not know you?
Yes, my name is Alexia. I am French and Polish, and I live in Brussels. I am a passionate women's rights advocate. I am also very curious about human beings, their functioning, their interactions, and this is also probably why I am not a big fan of small talks. I would rather have deep, existential, philosophical discussions, and that's also why I tend to sneak out of gatherings or parties early if this is not happening. And I guess now I can add to that I am a happy podcast host.
Okay. So, what is cortisol?
So, cortisol is first of all the reason why you are watching this video right now. So, thank you for watching. And cortisol is a video podcast. It will be the place to deconstruct stressful, neglected, unpopular, taboo topics. So, the one you think about when you go for your morning run, when you go to work, when you are in the bus, or the kind of topics that trigger conflicts during your family gatherings. So, in other words, it will be about topics that are close to your heart and raise your cortisol level.
Well, great. But why will it be different from other podcasts?
So it is different from other podcasts because it will be a co-creative process. So, obviously I will be with some guests. We will discuss certain topics, but we will also discuss concrete solutions, potential solutions. And at the end of each episode, there will be a policy proposal. And you, viewers and listener, will be asked to vote on this policy proposal, so to vote for, against, or to abstain, and to explain your vote in comments. In other words, you will be put in the shoes of a member of the European Parliament that build its own ideal political agenda step by step.
Okay. And why did you choose the name cortisol?
So, as you may have noticed, cortisol is the contraction of two words. Cœur, meaning heart, from French, and cortisol, which is the main hormone of stress in our body. And on top of my tendency to speak Franglish, I thought that this would be a good play on words to reflect the concept of this podcast, which is once again about topics that are close to your heart, but that tend to raise your cortisol level.
And where does this idea of podcast come from?
So, this podcast was in the back of my mind for around 5 years. I had to postpone it several times, including because of a very big hardship, life hardship, I would say, that I would be probably happy to share in one of the episodes. But otherwise, I don't have any regrets about doing it now because I think that this is the time I needed to develop my idea and to be really happy about the concept I am proposing today.
Very good. Who is behind cortisol?
So cortisol is made by me, only me, in the sense that this is my responsibility. It is a personal project. It has nothing to do with my daily work, for example. That being said, I must confess that this wouldn't have been possible without the support of several persons. So this includes my partner, my friends, but also my therapist, who helped me to really made me accountable to make sure that I was actually progressing and moving from an idea, a dream, to reality.
Very well. Does this mean that you are going to become a freelancer?
Absolutely not. I am not becoming a freelancer because cortisol is really just, it's still something, but it's an experience I want to leave. It's something I'm doing because I'm afraid I will regret if it stays just in my mind as a dream. But I have no idea where it will lead. I cannot predict the future. So this is an experience that I will manage in parallel of my current job, and then we will see what the future holds for Coeurtisol.
Okay. Will the content be in English only?
So most of the content, I would say 80% will be in English because most of my surroundings, networks, relatives, friends are Anglophone. And also in Brussels, it's quite a multicultural environment, and English is a good language to gather people. However, I must say that I'm still considering to include a bit of French content, maybe 10% of this podcast, because as you know now, I am French. I know French persons who have very interesting stories to share, but they are not necessarily speaking English, or they are not very comfortable speaking in English. So I would be still happy to include them in this podcast. And when that's the case, I would, of course, warn you that this particular content is in French. And when possible, I will put subtitles so that you can also enjoy it.
Very good. Do you have anything to add?
Yes, so first of all, welcome to your new mandate, as Coeurtisol will be the place to be to vote on policy proposal as MEPs do. And to do that, I invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel and to the Instagram account, because these will be the two means through which you will be able to vote and to explain your vote. So this is very important, and I thank you in advance for that. Yeah, and then I wanted to say that I hope I can count on your kindness in this new adventure, because of course it will certainly trigger some vulnerability considering the topics that will be discussed. So I also invite you to really think before you click, and to remember that behind the screens are real human beings. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I invite you to comment, to suggest some topics you would like to see in Coeurtisol, or some guests that you would like to see. That's the time now to say see you soon on Coeurtisol, the podcast that puts you in the shoes of a member of the European Parliament. Bye bye.